Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the T&T Podcast. Here with your boy Torres Finney and my co-host Tyler Layfield. What's up, Tyler?
Man, nothing much. Coming off some good NFL action this past weekend. I was able to watch some of these games, and they delivered. They delivered pretty good. I thought they were pretty close for the most part. We saw some good football, and ready to review these and look into next weekend.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited, man. You know, obviously this weekend was pretty a busy weekend. I was in Atlanta at the NFC fights. Got a chance to see Chase Boutwell, who's from Macon, fight. He was 5-2, fighting against Malcolm Wellmaker, man. It was a main event, great
I
fight.
remember Wellmaker.
Yeah, it's a great fight, man.
I watched him. He fought in Macon, didn't he?
Yes, he fought in Macon.
Yeah,
Yes,
he pretty good
fought
guy.
in Macon, and he also fought on both Icon cars that I fought on. So yeah, he's a highly touted prospect. The Chase Boutwell, highly touted prospect. He fights at Rush MMA, and I mean, man, special talent, dude, special talent, man. And you know, they met up in this big fight on the regional scenes, and Malcolm finished him in the second round. It was a good fight. Chase won round one. It was back and forth fight, and he just got caught. And hey, we got two prospects of that high caliber and level. Anything can happen, and it was a good fight. And congrats to Malcolm Wellmaker and a lot of the guys that won on that card, Carrington Johnson, some of those guys. So congratulations to all those cats.
All right, so I know there was some big UFC fights this past weekend. We kind of, we talked about it. I think we chatted about it last time for just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We made our picks for the main card. But what did you take away from these fights that you were able to witness this past weekend?
You know, it was a little shocking. You know, out of all the males, out of all the men, the only one that the only ones that won that was from Canada were the two women. That was so surprising.
Wow.
Like, now two of them was obviously on the undercard. Jasmine, Jasadavicius, I can't say her whole name, whatever, and Julia Robertson. They was the only two that won. They both got finishes in later rounds, and you know, it was shocking to see, you know, Canada not really get one. I thought Brad Katona, he was fought on the Ultimate Fighter. I thought he would have got one against Gary Armfield. Armfield beat him by decision, and Chris Curtis beat Marc-Andre Baralt, which congratulations, Chris Curtis. Neil Magny the biggest upset of the night. Mike Malott, he was the next big Canadian star. A lot of guys will put him up there, you know, potentially be as big of a star as a guy eventually, potentially, as George St. Pierre. And he dominated rounds 1 and 2, and he just gassed. And Neil Magny took him down and just grounded, pounded him out. He couldn't move. He was so tired, and finished him in the third round with like 40 some seconds left. And around he had won every second of that fight, and all he had to do was survive, to be honest with you. And man, what an upset that was. You know, Neil Magny got the finish. I didn't get a chance to watch the women's fight, but I heard all the stuff on Twitter. Huge boring fight from what I've heard.
Boring fight.
It's hard.
I love to see it.
I mean, I tell anybody this, I don't care. Like, I don't watch many women fights. I really don't. Well, it's just hard for me to really be as interested.
It's the truth, though.
It's hard. Truth. Some, but that's not my thing, you know. But
yeah,
Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis, what a battle that was. Ended up being a split decision. Honestly, if I had to be honest, I did think Sean won. But overall, I will say that was a fight that went either way. Like, I'm not mad that Dricus won. I wouldn't have been mad if Sean won. It was one of those fights that was so down the middle. You could flip a coin, and whoever won, congratulations, that person won. So, tight fight. I know a lot of people were talking about the takedowns. The takedowns do matter. Granted, he didn't do anything with them. He got up. Sean was getting up instantly. But takedown is an effective grappling move. It says in the rule books, the number one criteria, effective striking or / effective grappling. And anytime you get a takedown, that it will be huge in your favor. I know a lot of people don't like that, and I agree. I'm the same way. Like, if you're not doing anything with your takedown, at least going for submission, at least trying to pass, at least trying to strike, you shouldn't be necessarily scored. But by rule, that takedown is huge, and that's control. And Heck, they gave it a drink a little bit because of that. I think that was huge in round 3. So, but yeah, congrats. It was a solid card. It was all right card, but not one of those ones you really have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard Dana White was apparently he was saying he thought, oh well, this is what I heard at least. I heard that he said that he thought that Strickland had won that fight if he had to guess. So I guess a true split decision. Some people think one way, some people think the other. So what do you think though? You think your side with the Duplessis side?
No, I just said I thought Sean won.
Oh, you thought Sean won. Okay. Yeah, but you said the takedowns. That's right. So the takedowns are what got it for him. Okay. Well, cool. What do we got looking forward, looking ahead? What do we got UFC coming wise?
I mean, there's like it's like some weights. I mean, I think they got a card February 3rd, their next card. So
I'm looking at that now.
Be a little time. Roman Dollar Diaz versus Narcine Imanov. A lot of guys. I know some of these guys, but it's a lot of guys that are debuting. So a lot of special guys. Joe Pfeiffer, Jack Hermanson in the next week. Brad Tavares, Gregor Rodriguez. There's some. Then Rodolfo Vieira and Armin Petrosian. Like there's some good fights the week after that.
The 17th has some pretty good stuff.
Yes, my boy Ilya Topuria against Volkanovski.
What do you think about that early on? I was seeing some people talking about this guy can maybe do it, and then I got some people that are emphatically saying Volkanovski's going to just tear him up.
I am confident. I'm pretty confident in Ilya.
Really,
Volk is really good, but I don't know Ilya personally, but I have seen him. We both signed with the same management.
Okay.
And Ilya is a special talent. He's one of those guys you see train, you see hit pads, and you look and you're like, he's different.
He's legit.
He's different. And Volkanovski is really good. That knockout from Islam, I think, is going to pay dividends because that boy Ilya got power. The only thing I don't like about Ilya is when he's in the pocket, he exposes himself. So he gets hit a lot. And he exposes himself. So I don't know necessarily like how that's going to play out. But he's one of those guys, man. Ilya's a dog, man. It's going to be a good fight. You can never beat up the last Volkanovski. He's one of the greatest of all time, especially at that weight class.
Yeah.
But I just think that time of his reign is about to come to an end. I really do believe Ilya's next in line. I really do. Ilya's good, man. Ilya's good.
Right. Well, I guess we'll find out then. And then I also see Whitaker, Costa, that should be a fun one. Cejudo versus Valashvili.
That's a great fight.
I've heard of them two names.
Ian Gary and Jeff Neal. That's an incredible fight. Anthony Hernandez will no longer be going against him, but he'll be going against Roman Kopylov, and that's going to be a crazy banger of a fight. So this card is going to be a good one. Then boy from Atlanta, I know him a little bit, Trayshawn Gore. He'll be fighting AJ Dobson, so that'll be a big fight for him. And my boy Val opening up the card, Val Woodburn. He'll be fighting. That fight supposed to says welterweight. It says middleweight on here, but it says supposed to be welterweight. But he's fighting on that card, and I'm excited for him. So yeah, a lot of good fights. That's a card I'm definitely tuning in because I know a lot of guys on that card. So
the next big thing. All right, so let's break into this. This is the main meat of the show. This is what we really wanted to kind of hit on today was these divisional round games that we had this past weekend. And to kick things off, let's go ahead and let's talk Texans versus Ravens. We talked about both teams a little bit last week, mainly the Texans, obviously, because the Ravens had the bye week. Wasn't much to say there. They had the week off. Of course, the Texans just obliterating their competition in that first round and moving on. CJ Stroud looking, awesome. Nico Collins looking amazing. Defense was playing pretty good. But they go into Baltimore and they play, the Lamar Jackson Ravens, led Ravens, 34-10. They lose by. Lamar had a heck of a game. Looking at the stat line now, I know I saw it earlier, but 11 carries, 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns rushing. 152 yards passing with 2 touchdowns that way. So just a very efficient, effective game by Lamar. The other running backs, they helped out as well. Justice Hill had a pretty good game, 66 yards rushing. Gus Edwards with the 40-yarder. It just looks like a classic. Just they were hitting pretty well. Nobody had a blow up game. I mean, outside of Lamar, with 4 touchdowns, you can't help but notice that. But he was kind of spreading around, and using his legs, using his arms, spreading around. Pretty good game here. Hat tip to the Texans for making it this far. I did not see the Texans making the playoffs before the season started. Here they go in. They get a win in the opening round. They move on to the second round. Sure, they got beat, and beat soundly, but it was by a really good team, at their home. So Stroud, 19 to 33 passing, 175 yards, no touchdowns. I think the only touchdown they scored was that punt return. Yeah, the punt return for the touchdown. So what do you make of this game, and do you see this boding well for the Baltimore Ravens moving forward?
So, I mean, you can look at this game 2 ways. And I think one of the ways I'm looking at it is the first one I want to say. The way I'm looking at it is I do think Baltimore is probably the best team in the league. I've said that on here before. But I do believe that early on, I mean, that first half of the game, I mean, I know we look at it and we don't take a lot into account. But early on in the game, 1, they scored that one. 2, 3, 4. They punted 4 times in the first half. All right. Texans didn't generate much offense. Now, we can accredit that also as well to how good the Ravens defense is. But early on in that game, the Texans was moving the ball okay. They just couldn't really push it through. Like, they would get sometimes to the 50 or beyond the 50, and then they'll just stop. They'll stalemate. A lot of then you had missed field goal. That was huge as well. Yeah. You can say it's because the Ravens had a bye. That was their first bye, and they came out slow. So going into the next round, playing back-to-back weeks now, they should be good to go. You can make that case. But, again, I'm still not overly sold just yet on the Ravens. I have said it before. I'll say it again. I think the team, which they're going to be playing next round, that team is going to be the team that's going to be able to beat them because of how they play their defense and how they're able to play against Lamar. Not everybody plays against Lamar really well. One team that does it, I see it every year, the Steelers. There's one game that I don't know how we win consistently, but we find a way to win. We can beat Lamar Jackson. All right. And another team that can also do it, because I have watched multiple of their games now, is the Chiefs. But you can also put into the account that this is a different Raven team. They have a few more weapons. But
a better offensive mind, I feel like, with Monk, Monk, and
Monk being up there.
He's actually done a really good job this year with them.
He's helped them out a lot. But there's one thing that I have yet to see really is like, I don't know once we take away the legs of Lamar how well he would play. I've seen the Steelers do it. He don't rush good against the Steelers. We force him to throw. When he throws, he struggles. He barely scores against us. So, like, I think going into that dynamic, you got to have the defense, the edge rushers on the outside that's able to contain and have the speed to be able to do it. Not saying the Texans necessarily don't, but this Texas team is really young overall, defensively and offensively. So, nothing going to put past them. This is a game the Ravens should win. Just really good overall performance by the Ravens. They played a complete game. If you want to say put down a game where the Ravens look the best overall, offense, defense, special team, this is this game. Kicker look good, special teams look good. Offense obviously look good, and the defense look good. So they look good in all phases. So we're gonna see what happens next round, but I think the real test is gonna be next round.
Yeah, it looked like a great team. Hard to go against a team like that. Like you said, just all facets of the game. Like when they're clicking offensively, the defense is going to – I feel like you kind of trust that defense with what they've got there. It's really good. But when you got the offense to back it up, when you got Lamar doing his thing, when he's on fire like that, it's hard to stop. And then, of course, they got the special teams. Justin Tucker, arguably the best kicker in the league. He's easily able to rely on. So, Ravens, I could definitely see making this push here. It's going to be an interesting pick here coming up, toward the end of this show when we look at that next game. So, yeah, I'm with you, though. Ravens look great. Not too much to take away. They won the game that, like you said, they were supposed to. Texans, like you said, really young. You can mention the young coach, too. I mean, first-year head coach. You live and you learn. You move on from these things. You learn what to do the next time around. So that'll lead us to our next game. That was the Green Bay Packers going against the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers edging this one out barely, 24-21. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not really catch much of this game. From what I've gathered, from what I've been able to check out, it was very slow game by the 49ers. Like, they just really kind of screwed around, it sounded like. I did see a little bit where Debo got hurt. So, it was kind of in and out. Like, I was able to see a little here, a little there. Saw Debo went out. They're saying they should probably be back next game, is what I last heard. He does make a difference here, but looking at it, you got Purdy, decent game, no interceptions, but only one touchdown, 252 yards passing. I did see the one touchdown that was to Kittle. Great pass, great catch, by the way.
That was.
Outside of that, though, Kittle had 4 catches for 81, but really the guys you need to rely on are Debo, and I understand he was hurt. I feel like McCaffrey could have been a little bit more. I mean, he did have 7 catches, just wasn't able to do nothing with it, only 30 yards. Your next highest receiver was Juwan Jennings, and I feel like you got to be able to get a guy like Brandon Ayuk going a little bit more in these types of games, utilize him a little bit more. He only had 3 for 32. So just an odd game from the offensive mind that is Kyle Shanahan, with the weapons he has. And like I said, I understand the Debo thing. You still got Ayuk, you still got Kittle, you still got McCaffrey, you still got Purdy, you still got that good offensive line. I don't know, man. I feel like you should have been able to do a little bit more than that. But I think you got to give some credit to the Packers as well. Man, Packers have done. Honestly, I didn't see this happening with them either. They're another team like the Texans that I could say. Now I knew they could probably put up a little bit of a better fight than the Texans, or at least that's what I figured. Just because I just was not a big believer in the Texans, but you got to really hand it to him. Jordan Love coming in his first year full-time starter. He's had his ups and his downs this regular season. He started off really hot, he kind of tapered off, but then really this postseason, he's played pretty well. I mean, he had a great game against Dallas, of course. In this game, he had 194 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Aaron Jones has been another animal this postseason. Like, I don't know. I felt like he hit another level. When I had him in fantasy this season, man, I don't know. It just wasn't – it was here, it was there. He was dealing with the hamstring, but they gave him all the work this postseason. They have a really good wide receiver core, a young wide receiver core moving forward, honestly. Like, if you're a Packer fan, you got to be – you got to be happy about the prospects of what you got moving forward at the wide receiver position. But they lose by 3 in this one. And I heard there was a missed field goal here. Educate me on that. What happened with it?
Yeah. Overall, like you said, really good game played by Green Bay. A lot of miscues they made. But yes, you're right. They missed a field goal. It was a huge, huge field goal. 41 yards, went wide left.
Was it at the end of the game or?
No, it was to extend. So the score was 21-17. It was an opportunity to pick them up 7. He missed it, and that's when Brock Purdy had that legendary drive.
How long of a field goal are we talking here?
It was 41 yards.
Okay.
He had a 41-yard field
Purdy
goal.
let him down the field. And
Purdy let him down the field, 12 plays, 69-yard drive to win the game. And that was incredible by Purdy, man. I mean, I know I've been seeing a lot of things lately about Brock Purdy. And it's wild to me how much flack he has gotten while being a really good quarterback. How many people that has been the last pick in the entire NFL draft and been to back-to-back championship games? That is unheard. Like, what he is doing is incredible. And I know people want to say, well, look at the team he's got. Well, look at the guys he got. Okay. Because the games he's had bad games in, they lose. When he plays bad game, they lose. How many times have I seen Jimmy Garoppolo have awful games and they still find a way to win? Like, and it's not because of Jimmy. They put a lot on Brock Purdy's shoulders. Brock Purdy has played 25 games. His record, 20-5. Any quarterback, any franchise would love to have that record for their quarterback, especially the first 2 years. So all this flack that Brock Purdy gets, it irks me a little bit because I'm like, this is stupid. Like, he's played really good.
Yeah.
The throws he needed to make when the game was on the line, guess what he did? He made them. We're going to get to a game later on about like Josh Allen, about making the throw. It's funny how Josh Allen is getting all this different type of excuses made for him. But Brock Purdy get a lot of flack, and he's winning
Mm-hmm.
the games.
Mm-hmm.
He's not losing. He's winning the game, and he's driving these guys down the field to do it.
Yeah.
I feel now it's not a perfect game. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't a perfect game.
No.
But he played a solid game. I think, people be.
I mean, there were a lot of games we saw Brady, where it wasn't like you look at the stats and it wasn't amazing, but when it mattered, he made it happen. It was just that thing. It was just that thing.
Yes, Brady literally won Super Bowl MVP against the Rams, his first Super Bowl, only throwing for 149 yards and 1 touchdown. So you want to say that was oh my gosh, Brady incredible? No. That drive down the field was huge. That's the reason why Brady won MVP, because it was one of those clutch drives when everybody was like, them guys should go into overtime. Now they said, no, put it on Brady's back. Put it on this guy's first year ever playing in the NFL's back, and let's see what he does. And that's the same thing Kyle Shanahan is doing with Brock Purdy. And I love the trust that they have with Brock Purdy. So he's doing his thing, man. I'm proud of him. I agree. I mean, George Kittle did his thing. Jawan Jennings. Obviously, like you said, you would like to see a lot of these guys a lot more, but that's not their game. They're not much of a passing team. They're just really not. They don't throw the ball that much. They're more of a rushing team.
But when they do, it's nice. Like when they do, it's a really nice play drawn up where they're just breaking free, getting open. Yeah, it is. So 49ers, I don't know, a confidence level, it was higher before this. I don't know, man. I tinkered off a little bit after this. I don't know what to expect in this next round.
Yeah.
We're about to see.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to surely be interesting. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. All right. Take me through the Buccaneers lines, Torres.
Man.
I was able to catch at least a good bit of this second half. I was out with some buddies the first half, and I got back, was able to watch the second half of this one. But take me through what you were able to witness.
Well, man, that was an incredible game. Watching that game, it was really good. I was actually surprised on how well the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually played. Tampa Bay played a really, really good game. I mean, that was a back and forth game all the way up to the fourth quarter, and it was still a close game going towards. Obviously, Baker Mayfield had a chance to drive down the field. He threw a pick, but that was a good game back and forth offensively and defensively. And one of the things that I definitely want to see is a lot more of seeing how Jared Goff is able to utilize that offense. I love what Jared Goff has been doing. Jared Goff, in my honest opinion, if there's anybody I definitely love to root to see win the Super Bowl, is that cat. Because the Rams let him go after he took his team to the Super Bowl, then got his team to the playoffs the following year. Obviously, they had like a 7-9 or 9-7 year where they did make the playoffs. They let him go. They bring in Matthew Stafford. Now, granted, it was worth it because they won the Super Bowl. But this man just went to the Lions, beat his old team, now got the Lions the most playoff games when they ever won in 1 year. It's in 50-some years. Then the first time they've been in a championship game in I don't know how long. So now they're breaking a lot of records with Jared Goff. Now they have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. I'm excited for this team. This team has weapons like crazy with Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon.
It's a great year to be a Michigan sports fan.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Probably not a Pistons fan, but everything. Hey, you can't have them all. You can't have basketball, football. You can't have them all. So.
They have it all. But football wise, hey, it's it.
It's it. So that's really cool. And then able to see a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. He played for Michigan.
Home state kid.
Win the national championship. Then he has an opportunity to go win the Super Bowl. That would be awesome, man. So, and then the head coach that played at the Detroit Lions when it was 0-16, played on one of their worst teams ever, literally the worst team in NFL history. And now have an opportunity to be able to right the wrong, right the ship. I mean, what the Lions have done this year has already been incredible. Yeah. I mean, these guys have gotten these guys to the NFC Championship game. A lot of people slept on Dan Campbell. They didn't think he'd be a great coach.
Yeah.
They slept on Jared Goff. They slept on this team. This team is doing a lot of great things, man. I'm pumped for them. They got a tough game ahead of them, but I like what they're doing.
It's, we saw a little taste of this last season. They got off, if I'm not mistaken, they got off to the hot start last year. Am I correct? And then they just kind of fell apart. I want to say they did. I'll look that up here in just a second, but I'm almost sure that last season they got off to a hot start. They were looking pretty good. Or was it the other way around where they started off bad and then got really good? I think they had they
started off bad and they started winning.
There you go. So you saw it toward the end there. They weren't doing too hot, then they started actually catching some momentum. It wasn't enough to get them in the postseason, but I think that momentum carried over, into this year. And I think they were the Hard Knocks team this year, weren't they? Yeah, right. I think they were. Where Aiden
I don't
Hutchinson
know.
did the.
Probably so. Probably
Is
so. I
that
don't
is this Aiden Hutchinson's rookie year? No.
know.
So it may have been last year they did, because they made Aiden Hutchinson his rookie year do the Billie Jean or whatever. He had to get up in front of everybody and do the Billie Jean Michael Jackson rendition. But yeah, man, it's been a good season for Detroit. Tampa Bay, I don't know. I'm not going to go too crazy here. I did see somebody post that at the very end of the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could have called a timeout on that last knee to force like a long field goal or a difficult field goal to maybe extend this thing.
It wouldn't have been
But
long. No.
yeah, they probably still would have lost. But I thought that was an interesting note to at least look at. But
I mean, the field goal is going to be a 46-yard field goal.
they still make it. They'd still make it.
He'll make that. And
yeah,
let's say if he misses it, you only have 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, look, you
maybe
could
something crazy.
Anything can happen. I agree, but the Buccaneers didn't want to win this game at one point. All right, they didn't want to win this game when them Sun Guns literally scored. Could have kicked the extra point. Had an opportunity.
I saw that.
Just be down by 7. But no, let me go for 2. I felt like that was so stupid. And be down. Now they're down.
You can make a case for either one. I mean, if you're going for the win, you may as well go for 2 then.
Yeah.
I guess they already had it set. We're not playing for overtime. We're playing for the win. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it ahead of time. That way, I understand that thing. So I guess it's more of a crack on you shouldn't have gone for the win. You should have just went for the tie. Is that what you're pretty much saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know people. I saw a lot of people talking about the percentages and analytics, but that stuff don't make sense because that's not all equal to teams.
Yeah.
You can say, okay, they could have got the 2 point, and then boom, they would have scored at the end of the game, and they kicked the extra point. They built by 1, or they don't get a 2 point like they didn't, and then they get an opportunity. So they have to go for 2 regardless, twice, because they didn't get it the first time. So they go for it the second time to tie the game. Why put that more on you? I just don't think that's smart. Like the extra point, I'm sure extra points are not guaranteed, but there was not 1 point during this whole game. Every touchdown they scored, the last time I checked, the kicker made his extra point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Maybe they were just getting too cute. Maybe they were overthinking this thing.
That's not smart.
Honestly, didn't see the Buccaneers really making it this far. I didn't really, we can go back to the other show where we previewed the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to beat the Eagles, and
me neither.
Here we are. They made it this far. They actually put themselves in a position to, tie this game. I didn't really see that happening either. So, good stuff to them. Good stuff to them for making it as far as they did and doing what they did with what they had. Baker Mayfield had a pretty good year for a guy that just got brought in like a 1-year deal to kind of hold the team together for a year. I think he did enough to where he should be somebody that gets looked at for their starter moving forward.
I agree. He pulled a Flacco and did better than Flacco.
Yes, you're right. And Rachaad White, he had a pretty good year. I know he didn't have the best of game in this one. And then Mike Evans, that's the only other guy I'll highlight here. He had a great game in this one, 8 for 147 and a touchdown. He had a really good season, honestly, too.
Yeah.
Better than I thought it would be. He's just, I don't know, man. Every year you can count on that dude getting like 1,000. Yeah. His whole career, man, from 2014 to now, he has had over 1,000 yards in every season.
10 straight seasons.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And this is his This is his 5th year with over 10 touchdowns too. So this dude, the longevity thing, and him being able to consistently perform at this level is pretty amazing. I gotta admit it. Outside of that though, like you said, the Lions looking really good. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You had some other guys step up too. Jared Goff, you got to give him props like you did. Gibbs has looked great. Montgomery's looked pretty good this year. Laporte has been a godsend at tight end. And then Jamison Williams, he's made some plays here and there to kind of help him out. Josh Reynolds as well. So pretty good year on their part. So, man, last one we're going to go with here before we get into our picks for this one. And this is the granddaddy of them all. Of them all. The one we are all looking forward to. And it like I said, it delivered, man. A lot of these games, man. Outside the Ravens, blowing it out. But, a lot of these games were close and good. They at least had a chance to get tied or, somebody win it in the final, minute or two. Chiefs pull this out 27-24. Just, man, what more can you say than Bills just can't seem to get over this hump. They can't seem to do it. Even after all those years with, in what was it, the 80s, the 90s, where they were losing these things.
I know.
It just sucks. Take me through what you witnessed, man.
Well, as I said on last show, we went against each other on this one. But as I said, Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame tight end, top 3 defense in the NFL. I'm not betting against those boys, man.
They look really good.
And Mahomes continues to find ways every single time. Like, y'all, like, this is again. See, like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna be that guy that can keep betting against Brady. I already learned my lesson years ago. All right, when it hit about 2000, literally once it hit like 2016 or 2015, after he beat the Seahawks, but that was 2014. Mm-hmm. I stopped betting against him. And it's like, who you got, Brady? I'm sorry.
Yeah, may as well at that point.
Until proven like Alabama, until proven otherwise, I'm not gonna bet against him. And I'm at this point with Mahomes. Like, I said this multiple times. I know their receivers were struggling, but I told y'all I have seen this story happen.
So I think I know where we're going in our picks here.
I do. I see that happen too many times, dude. They randomly, oh man, I've been dropping the ball in the biggest moments in the game. I've been dropping all year long. They only got 2 drops on playoffs. These guys are like,
they know when to turn it on.
That's right.
Like, to turn it on.
You can't, as long as they are winning games that they have to win to put themselves in good positions to, like, they were the 3 seed, obviously, like you say, they still had to go on, they had a first home game, but they still had to go on the road to the Bills. And heck, if you look at Mahomes' numbers throughout his entire career, he actually plays better on the road than he does at home. This is crazy. But this game was phenomenal, man. And oh boy, when DeMar Hamlin did the fake punt.
Felt like that Justin Fields fake punt crap we did in the SEC championship game that year. I was what? But I think when the announcer said it, I think they said that the Chiefs had 10 men on the field, and that's why they went to it. I see it. And honestly, when you're in the Bills situation and you know how this story goes, like you said, they know how the story goes. Yeah. If you don't try to get aggressive on these things, if you don't take the shots like that, are you really putting yourself in a position to win? I don't know. I think you can make a good case there for them to do it. But, it's always those kinds of things you can always look at and question, though.
Well, the ball was on their own 30. And your defense.
I understand.
And up to that point, let me go and see. Up to that point, the Chiefs did not punt just yet. The Chiefs didn't punt to the end of the game. They didn't punt at all the whole game until
the Bills defense really wasn't.
So
amazing.
If this team ain't punted yet, and you want to give them 30 yards. Now, granted, if it weren't for McCole Hardman acting like an idiot trying to extend the ball at the yard line, we wouldn't even be talking about no game about, the missed field goal. This game would have been already in the dirt. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't necessarily – your defense haven't been able to stop these boys. These boys been hot. They've been consistent. I would have trusted the defense one more – like, make Mahomes drive. Like, don't give him 30 yards because obviously you saw they literally got all the way to the end zone. I mean, the guy just fumbled the ball in the end zone, but they got all the way to the end zone. So I just don't – I don't know, man. Mahomes steps up for these games, man. Josh Allen played a really good game. So the thing I wanted to talk about.
I mean, did he?
See, well, that's the question.
That's what I say. It's not. I mean, I don't know if it's clear cut as he had a great game. I mean,
I agree with you. People trying to give all these excuses. And
you look at the numbers. I mean, sure. I'm not gonna lie. He did run the ball pretty well. I thought he did pretty good doing that, and it was helping the team at the time. It was extending the drives and keeping them going. 26 for 39 with 186 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, another thing I'd look at here, good God. I mean, I know he ended up with 61 yards on 18 carries, but James Cook, this Bills team, and they're a team I like watching, but good Lord, like, when are y'all going to find a run game that you can actually rely on? I feel like that's the one thing you can't just rely on Josh Allen to do all this. He's going to end up getting hurt one of these years, you running him like this. But having the defense and then being able to run the ball at will whenever you can. Last thing I'll bring up here with the Bills, where is Stephon Diggs at?
Awful game. Awful game.
He 3 for 21. I know they took a deep bomb there toward the end.
Fourth quarter. Big
play. He just freaking threw it. He chunked that thing. And the percentage chance of that happening, for that being successful, it's got to be low. It can't be a high rate of that. The receivers, it's just nobody had a blow up game. Diggs is just, I don't know if it's a Diggs problem or if it's an Allen problem, or a little bit of both. But that connection has really dropped off, and they had their moments. I think they had a couple games this year where it popped off, but it was a really down year for him. I mean, looking at the stats here, he did end the year with over 1,100 yards. It just don't feel like it. I really just don't feel like that happened.
He had 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns.
It just don't feel like it. I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of like disappointed.
You want to be honest, compared to his previous years on the Bills, 1,500 yards, 1,200 yards, 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns again this year, but
so it's similar.
It's similar in that case, but
it may have been just inconsistent, like high sky, peak games where you just pop off, and then just games where you just disappear.
I can see
that. May be the case here.
I can see that.
But yeah, man, what were you going to mention with Allen though? I know you said this is the thing you've been seeing people talk about is, did he have a good game? Did he not? What have you been seeing more of?
Well, a lot of people have been making all these excuses about whether or not he's been having a great game or not. And I want to be honest with you, like he played solid. Get me right. Like he play good enough?
Decent. It was decent.
He played decent. But I think people keep saying, well, it was the receiver's fault. They dropping all these passes, or the kicker, or this. What about that throw in the end zone on second and long that could have took the lead? What about when he was driving? See, people forget about this. Now, granted, Bills recovered. What about when he was running on that last drive down there to tie the game, and he fumbled the ball, and the Chiefs had a great opportunity just to recover to end the game, but they were trying to pick up and score. Do we forget? Like, those are awful moments. Like, you don't do that and they say, dog, Josh Allen played the game. I blame his defense and his team keep letting him down. I saw a stat. They said the only person to have 50 touchdowns in one season and not make it to the conference championship, Josh Allen. And by the way, he's done it twice. He's had 50 touchdown combination of regular season and postseason and never made it to the championship game. Well, who fault is that? We can't say, well, it was a defense. Well, it was an offense. Well, because you remember when the Chiefs beat them the first time, Chiefs beat them 38-24. It's like when they played them in Kansas City and all, like Chiefs beat them soundly. Then the next time, people want to complain. Oh, well, the Bills didn't get the ball in overtime. That's not fair. They didn't get the ball. Last year, played the Bengals at home in the snow. Lost that game. Didn't do jack. Then you finally had the Chiefs in the playoffs at home, and what did you do? You still found a way to mess it up. Who else we gonna keep blaming this on? I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna say and give all the blame to Josh Allen. I'm gonna put a little bit of blame on that head coach. That defense definitely got to do better. Yeah. The receivers choked. Lots of drops from the Bills. All right, and I just don't think man. Plus,
changes need to be made.
Yeah, changes do need to be made.
Some changes need to be made. I can't tell you what. I think it's more of a personnel thing. Maybe they need to make some additions in the wide receiver room. I think honestly they need to build the trenches up. You need to go get some offensive line, defensive line, man. I think that's the next step here. You can criticize the Chiefs all you want about how they've drafted, how they've signed stuff. I mean, yeah, sure, there might be some mediocre signings there. Like you brought up Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He kind of sucked this whole year. He did have 2 catches for like 60-something yards, I think, in this one. But the thing is, they're able to make it work, and they were able to pick up defensive players that have helped that defense out. They were able to build the trenches. I think that's what they really need to do. Other thing I was going to bring up, I know you brought up about McCole Hardman fumbling through the end zone, touchback. Did you see where the NFL is looking to get rid of the touchback?
That's
rule?
Stupid.
I think that as well. I think that's just. I think it's dumb, man. I think we're really overreacting to this thing that's been going on for God knows how long. Why? I don't know. Why are you trying to get rid of that? I don't know.
I'm a defensive minded guy.
I am
played
as well
defense
on
all
that.
my life. I didn't play defense until I played offense in college. But let me tell you
Mm,
something. Offense already in the NFL gets all the rules.
everything.
I can't slam you. I can't hit you too hard. I can't hit you at your knees at a certain point. I can't hit you in the head at a certain point. I can't put my hands here at a certain point. I can't do. Hey, so now when the ball, I force a fumble. All right, he the one that reached it out. All right, the defensive player is the one that forced the fumble. I force a fumble. All right, ball goes out the back of the end zone. Oh, just move the ball back about 10 yards. Offense, keep the ball, whatever,
I
down
think
there.
they're just talking about placing it at the 1.
That's the dumbest thing.
If you do it, yeah, I'm being dead serious. I'm pretty sure I read that they're just. I don't like that. I think we're going too far on that. I think this is another overreaction thing. I think this is similar to when the Bills complained about not getting the coin toss that each team should get.
Yeah,
there's some things you just can't. I don't know, man.
We argue about that long. Well, 2 years ago when it happened, we argued about that long time. Me, him, and Tanner, and I sat there and said, "Y'all don't understand. You get 60 minutes to play. Overtime isn't meant to be fair. Overtime is meant to just end the game.
Yeah, get this thing
done. They can't grasp that. And it said, so you telling me the game should depend on the coin toss? No, the game depended on.
How about you stop? Minutes. Yeah, if you don't want to lose it, how about you stop? Yeah, I mean,
that's the problem.
I'm not into that. Yeah, I'm not into making excuses. Like it's the same thing. Like when it comes to we can go back to whatever as far as officiating is concerned. I'm not here to say the officials botched this one. I mean, sure, there's times that we can complain a little bit about. You could say it wasn't the best game officiating wise. That wasn't the best ref game, whatever. But there's always opportunities for teams to make up for that kind of stuff. You can outplay things like that, and unless there's unless there's some really bad stuff going on behind the scenes, but I don't know. I don't see that being one of them. But yeah, I thought that was interesting though. I thought that was an interesting thing. Yeah. I was like,
fans complain about the calls, but I told what you remember what I told you, Tyler. I said when Brady retired, get what? Yeah. They got a new face of the NFL, and get who get up?
He's getting them. He's
gonna get the call. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna be tricked again. I know how it felt.
We can't get fooled again.
That's right. Hey, that's right. Like I saw the Steelers play the Patriots too many times. I saw Jesse James with a catch in the end zone. I'm thinking we finally beat the Patriots. Yeah. We got the number 1 seed. We're gonna have a great chance of going to the Super Bowl. Oh, wait a minute. No, buddy. Yeah. You forgot who you playing on the side. That's Tom Brady. You can't give you that touchdown. Dude, I've seen this play out too many times, and I just know how it goes. Like, y'all want to say it's funny because they want to say it don't matter. Oh, like you still have to play.
There was a play in this game where Mahomes, you remember that where they didn't throw the flag immediately, then they went through it, and it's because he's sitting there complaining. We literally saw it. Exhibit A.
And they gave it to him. They said, "Oh, that's right. Oh, roughing the pass."
Right. Yeah, or he wasn't within 5 yards, so that's
right. He wasn't with. Oh, that's right.
It's pass interference. Yeah,
that's right. Because they called it, and then they came back and they talked. It's like, actually no. And everybody booing. I'm like, look who you playing against, bro.
He made up for it though. That guy that did that, he ended up making like a pass breakup later in that drive to stall it. So I mean, like I said, you can outplay that stuff a lot of times.
You can.
Chiefs though look good. You talked about Mahomes. Of course, we haven't seen the big blow up game from Kelce this year, but he's still Travis Kelce. Another big piece though that we got to name it.
Man. A big game for him. 5 catches, 75 with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 75. That's right, 2 touchdowns. Okay, my bad. I'm thinking about these years or these games past, like they just the season as a total, as a whole. Yeah. But yeah, this was a better game for him. The other guy you got to mention though, Isaiah Pacheco, man, he's been toting that thing. He's been running that thing.
I love watching him run.
I do too. I really like him. I wish I would have got him in fantasy now. He's a guy that I want to look for now on moving forward. I just really like what he brings.
He runs hard for his yards, man. He runs hard.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I like what I see from him. So, with that being said, let's we've recapped all these. We've talked about these teams and how things played out this past weekend. Let's do a little look ahead. Let's go ahead and make our predictions for conference championship weekend here. And we got the 2 games. Let's save the big one for the last. I want to go Lions and 49ers in San Francisco. San Francisco's coming into this thing a 7-point favorite. Like I said, Deebo Samuel is expected to be back. At least that's the last report I'd seen. Man, 7-point favorite. I'll go first on this one, I guess. Man, like I said, the confidence meter for me on the 49ers, it did kind of go down a little bit past this past weekend. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot left to be desired than what you were expecting to see from a team like that. The Lions, man, it's been hot. It's been going hot. Oh, the 7 points is what's weird to me. I don't think the 49ers are that much better of a team. I feel like, especially in these moments. I know it's hard to trust the Lions here. First timers, it feels like, and like you said, God knows how long that they've been to this level of play in the postseason. But Kyle Shanahan, he's been known, man. He can choke these things away. He can let these things go to pot. And I think I will take the 49ers to win this one. I don't think they cover 7 though. I think this is like a field goal game here. I really feel like this one's going to be a closer one. I trust the 49ers defense for the most part, but I do think they can be suspect to some of these wide receivers for Detroit, especially Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think you'll see some other guys get involved. Like I said, Reynolds, you got Jamison Williams, these guys, Laporta, even though I do like the linebackers for the 49ers, they got Fred Warner and whatnot. So they got some dudes that can stick with Laporta. I think they'll be able to stop the run of the Lions, and I think that they'll actually, with their offensive front, I think they can actually push the Lions' defensive front back, and I think they can get McCaffrey going more. I think that's got to be, like, if you're Kyle Shanahan, I feel like things you need to do this game after looking at last game. We have got to get McCaffrey more involved. This dude's electric. This dude is dynamic. We can't just have this game again where I'm not gonna say it was pedestrian, but that wasn't very it wasn't a McCaffrey-like game, it felt like, for him this last weekend. So they'll make the smart plays, when it's time to pass. But like you said, they're a run team. I feel like they'll get that thing going. I think they'll get the run game going, and then they'll pick their spots offensive or passing wise. Maybe playing off the play action, finding the spot and things like that. So I'm going to trust the 49ers to make it past this week and go to the Super Bowl. That's my pick here. Not to cover the 7, but I have them to win.
Well, this is one of those games where I am very, very 50-50 on. This is going to be a hard one.
It's a close one, man.
This is a very close one. Very, very close one. But I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. And I'm going to be honest with you. Before the playoffs started, I did have the 49ers going to – I said the 49ers are going to go to the Super Bowl, come out NFC. I'm confident in that. But, man, I know it was the Bucs. I know it was the Rams. They're not the same team as the 49ers. But after watching both of those games and seeing how hard that team plays overall,
very emotional,
all the weapons that they have, if Brock Purdy start that game a little bit how he started against Green Bay, he ain't coming back on the Lions like that. The Lions are not going to let go of their opportunities compared to, like, Jordan Love faulted and obviously the missed kick. There was opportunities the Packers could have put the game away. You get down like that against the Lions, they ain't going to be no opportunity because Goff going to make the best of it. It's funny because, you see a guy like Goff being called a game manager. And, I mean, you can make a good point. Goff ain't no top 5 guy, obviously, but
they'd rather run the ball, I feel like, than leave it in his hands. And for the most part, it's similar. I mean, you can think about it. Him and Brock Purdy, there's a lot of similarities there for the most part. I mean, Purdy's kind of overachieved, as Goff was like a first-round pick, like a top 5 pick, I want to say.
Yeah, it was.
But, Brock is overachieved. But at the end of the day, both of these teams want to run the ball. They make no mistake about it. They want to get Montgomery going. They want to get Gibbs going. They'd like for it to be that kind of game. I think Campbell would love that. Defense and running. I don't think you can make a better combo for him.
And I would love to watch that too because I like defensive games and I like good run games. But Jared Goff, for one, is between those two, I think he's the better passer. And with the weapons of St. Brown, with Jahmyr Gibbs, you have a lot of really, really good weapons. And Laporta, the tight end, he's a rookie. Like, them boys can make a name. Like, that Lions defense is actually pretty good.
It's a good defense.
It's a good defense. Dan Campbell, he is.
And they're great against the run. And that's what I'm saying. Like, something's got to give. This game, somebody's got to give, and we're going to see. And it's going to make it a good one. Like in those kinds of games. All right, well, somebody's going to have to do something different, and not in a good way. Somebody's going to have to fall off.
Well, Purdy's getting a lot of flack. Purdy's getting a lot of flack,
He
and
shouldn't.
if anything, this might be the game. Like, I'm gonna shut y'all up. I'm about to take my team to the Super
Could
Bowl,
be. Could
and that's
be.
a really good point to make. But man, golf is. I mean, I just think it'd be special for Michigan, and I don't know, man. This is gonna be a good game. It's hard for me, but I am going with the Lions. I think it's gonna
Okay.
be 27-24, 30-27 tight game, 3-point game. Lions barely win, edge it out. And I think we see the Lions finally get to the Super Bowl.
Okay. I'll let you kick off the next one. But we will have the Chiefs going against the Ravens in Baltimore. Like you said, Mahomes known to have good away games. Baltimore is favored by 3.5 in this one. So take it away, Torres.
Well, as I said on here before the playoffs even started, I said there's only one team that I do not think the Ravens could beat if they met in the playoffs. I think they run through everybody except for this one team. And lo and behold, they got to play them in the AFC Championship game, the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the defense to be able to play against Lamar Jackson. They have the speed on the outside to be able to play against them. All right? Now, the difference is, how effective will these weapons be for the Baltimore Ravens? How well would Tom Markins carve up this Kansas City defense? So I know a lot of people say, well, look how Josh Allen ran on. It's a lot different because Josh Allen actually drops back and looks to throw. Where Lamar drops back and looks to run. Throw is his actually second option. He doesn't throw the ball as much. You have to force him to throw. And I think when you force him to throw, he has had good games. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad passer. I'm not saying that. But you are more susceptible to win the game when you force him to pass rather than run. I think the Chiefs are going to be able to do that. And the Chiefs say, if we lose this game and he beats us for throwing for 300 yards, congratulations, Lamar Jackson. You deserve to be a Super Bowl champion. And I think that's how the Chiefs are going to play him. And with the back end, the Chiefs look like, they stopped a better passer, in my opinion, out of Josh Allen to only 186 yards. They forced him to run a lot. I think those edge guys are doing really good. They got to do better, a little bit better on tackling. But, man, I'm going with Kansas City, man. Mahomes, dude, this even helps his career. All right? This man has never not played in the AFC Championship game. Played it 6 years in a row. Ever since he stepped on the football field, ever since he first started, because he didn't start his first year.
His first year, yeah.
Ever since he started in the league, he's always been in this game. Who else can say that? Also, he has always come up in these games. Whether he lose or whether he wins, he's going to play. All right? You see, you got Kelsey, you got the receivers, Rashid Rice, Young, man, stepping up at the right time. This Chiefs team is, bro, this is his worst team.
Against a tough defense.
And that is a really good defense. And I'll speak on that. That Ravens defense is really good. This is one of the worst Chiefs teams that Mahomes has probably been on. But what people forget, this is the best defense he's ever had. This is a top 3 defense. I know the Ravens is number 1 in scoring, but overall defense, the Chiefs are higher. And, this is going to be a good one. I actually think it's going to be a little bit low scoring. I don't see a bunch of scoring in this one. I think it's going to be low scoring on both sides.
It very well could be. I'd be shocked if it wasn't, actually.
Let
me look at the over-under. Matter of fact, let's take a look and see what Vegas thinks. Right now, over-under is 46.5.
I told you. That's going to be a low scoring game. So you like 23-23. So it's probably going to be like a 24-21 game. But that's not necessarily. That's like a medium type game. I feel like I'll see a 20.
I think it's less. Yeah, I feel like it's
less than that. I can see a 20-17. Every possession count. Every field goal going to count. They both got great kickers. They both got great quarterbacks. They both got great defense. They both got great run games. They both got great receiving weapons. It's funny how you would probably give the favor to the receiving weapons to Baltimore because of how you saw the Chiefs play throughout the regular season. But throughout this playoffs, man, they look just as good as anybody else. And this would be huge. If Mahomes is able to beat Tua, beat Josh Allen, and beat Lamar Jackson on the road, whether he wins the Super Bowl or not, this man has made the entire AFC his kids. He's beaten Burrow in the playoffs. He's beaten Allen so many times. He's beaten Tua, who they supposed to say he's supposed to be the next big thing. He's beaten Lamar, who's the MVP. He's beating all the top guys.
Yeah. You think Lamar is going to be named MVP again this season?
Yeah, I mean, who else? You better not give it to Brock Purdy, or I know some people say Christian McCaffrey potentially, which will be a great case. That's a great case, but we know how that goes.
Yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah,
they the number one seed. He's been killing it. So
yeah,
I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 21-17.
Yeah, and hey, you get points in this one too. So I mean, remember the Ravens are favored to win it. So I'll tell you what I want. I would really love for the Ravens to win it, and it's not like a hater to the Chiefs thing. Y'all got to remember, I don't get emotional about NFL. I do not. I don't have a dog in the race. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a fantasy guy through and through, strictly just out there for my players. And when it comes to playoff time, man, I'm just here to have fun. And to be honest with you, I love it. I love it that way. I mean, I can kind of pick and choose who I kind of like year to year. I mean, there's teams I like because of past Georgia players. There's teams I like because of friends that I have. Like if the Steelers are ever involved, I'm always going to have a little bit of a piece of action. Hey, great. If they win it, Torres is happy,
I'm going when they go.
Yeah, so I mean, like things like that. But I've got a coworker, Sergeant Merritt, runs our JLC program over at Howard Middle. He's a big Ravens fan, man. Got a Ravens wreath on his door. He'll be wearing the Ravens stuff. He loves it. He loves the Ravens, and I would love nothing more for them to win this game. Give him that satisfaction. Pull this one out for him. And they are a team that I really like. I've loved Lamar Jackson this year. I mean, I think he's great. I think he should probably be MVP as well. They've had to battle through some adversity, with the running back stuff, all the injuries there. I really like the defense. And I was able to look at the Roquan Smith mic'd up stuff, man. I'd love for him to get in. Kobe said it in our group chat. I'd love to see Roquan win him one. I would too, man. I hope it does happen. I love their defense, but man, it's one thing to want something and it's one thing to try to pick what's going to happen. And I'm not even saying this just to start stuff up or to just to be chalk, but it's just hard for me to not see the Chiefs winning this one, and that's who I got to take care, especially when they're the underdogs. You know what I'm saying? Like it is. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like if I can get points with the Chiefs, you can't pass that up, man. You'd be stupid to take them opposite, man. The Chiefs, if anything, should be kind of favored here. And I know that goes against the home team and the number one seed, like you said, and they're riding this thing. They got the MVP. I understand all the points, but like you've laid it out good here, man. Like the dude's a dog on the road. You're talking about could make his way to future GOAT conversation. He has taken the spot.
3 quarterbacks, bro. Like I know you remember the year when Brady won for Tampa, which him winning on another team was already a story.
Yeah, it was already.
Obviously, besides the Commanders quarterback, what's his name? At the time, he played for the Falcons. He played for the Falcons. Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Besides him, he beat Drew Brees on the road.
Yeah.
Green Bay on the road, and then beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Those 3, you beat 3 top 5 quarterbacks with some, and a lot of people list they would have of all time. All in the same year, back to back to back. Mm-hmm. If Mahomes is able to beat, I think a lot of people, because I don't want to be honest with you, but we just said we don't think Jared Goff or Brock Purdy is the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
At least not yet. I mean, we can't write them off yet, but yeah, I'm with you in that camp. I mean,
I don't think they're up. I mean, they could probably be maybe top 10.
I think Purdy can make his way up there. I don't know if Jared Goff. I give Purdy at least a chance. I'm not saying a huge chance, but I give him a chance to make it that far. I don't know if I'd bet on Goff though to make it.
I agree with you. No, you're not wrong on that. But Tua highly rated. Now, I don't think Tua's all that, to be straight up honest with you. But
when it's all said and done, when we see big picture, like when the years go by and Tua's done, I don't know if this really matters as much. But for right now, just to please the Bama fans out there and all those, those Tua fans and Dolphins fans, we'll say it for now,
Yeah.
Before I catch all this hate, I know I'm gonna catch.
Sorry, he won't be there. I'll catch it. He's not. I'm sorry. Like he's all right. Like he's gonna be good. He'll win games. Don't get me wrong. But it just ain't gonna be an NFL
on that level. I don't think he's on that.
Then you beat Josh Allen, who some even makes a case that he could be MVP this year.
Great,
all right,
yeah,
great. And then you beat Lamar Jackson, who most people think will be MVP. You beat those 3 in a row, 2 of them on the road.
And then you play the Super Bowl and you beat whoever you meet there.
Bro. And look, my picks, I have the Chiefs and the Lions. That will be the first game of the season that started off the NFL season. And it will also be the last game of the NFL.
Okay.
So
how'd that first one go? Remind me.
The Lions beat the Chiefs 21-20. I remember that game, drove down the field, great play by Lions, took the lead. Chiefs, this is when people were coming up like, man, the Chiefs receivers are awful. They dropped so many passes to win the game, bro. Yeah. It was crazy. This Chiefs ain't doing this team now. I don't see it happening. Hard for me to bet against Mahomes. I know, look, Lamar Jackson, again, you're going to be that guy to prove to me that you're going to get over the hump. All right? You just got to prove it to me.
Yeah, you do. You do, and don't get me wrong. I think he's got what it takes. I think he can do it. I'm not doubting him. It's just more of a trust factor of, like you said, Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame tight end, great defense. It could be, it's a great defense, man. They're good. I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to scheme some stuff up to really screw with Lamar,
That's right.
and get him to make mistakes. And I could see it happening. And then at the end of the day, game on the line. This has been a defensive game. Who am I picking out of these two guys? I think this is going to be a close one. And like you said, I think this is going to be low scoring. I just think you're going to have that late fourth quarter drive. And ultimately, when it comes down to Patrick Mahomes, I'm betting that dude's going to take him down the field and win it. And it's similar. It's very similar, like you said, to Brady. It's just you can't.
We've seen him do it too many times. And plus, Mahomes don't have his chance. Like, when he played Brady in the AFC Championship game, where he had to go total in that fourth quarter, that was one of the best fourth quarters. I'll never forget that in my life. Yeah. That AFC Championship game when the Chiefs played at home against the Patriots, and Brady drove down to score, then Mahomes drove down to score, and then Brady drove down to score like a minute left, and then Mahomes scored with 30-something seconds left, and then Brady got the ball back and scored. Like, it was he had went against the greatest of all times in a back and forth.
Toe to toe.
He knows how it feels to be on the losing side. And he also knows how it feels to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
This man has seen it all. And he's only been in the league for 6 years. I'm sorry.
Sorry, y'all. You got to deal with more Taylor Swift.
Dude, and that's what I love. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that. I'm not no huge Taylor Swift fan.
It's not bothering me, really. Some people let it get to them. I'm just indifferent. She's there. I don't know. Who cares? I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
They show her, and these guys lose.
Why are they showing her? Yeah. To me, she's my Dolly, she is to them like Dolly Parton is to me during the Georgia-Tennessee game, where they just would not freaking shut up about Dolly Parton or get her off the freaking. I feel like we missed a whole play, in that game because we were too busy talking to Dolly Parton on the side.
Every time Travis Kelce caught a ball. Even when one of the play, Isaiah Pacheco had scored. And they show her jumping up and down and they're screaming and everybody's getting mad. It's funny to look at. I'm sick of her. Y'all gotta pay it because you already see it. If the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, does Taylor Swift get a Super Bowl ring? I would love to hear the fans cry for the next 2 weeks. Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift. And now I'm not going conspiracy theories, but I always do this. Who y'all think? Now, look, the Ravens does have a huge fan base, especially behind Lamar, being honest. A lot of African-Americans loving Lamar Jackson. They're behind him. Huge. Granted. But if you get Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl, you're about to have people who don't even like football.
Everybody's going. I mean, there's a ton of people going to watch the thing. There's a lot of people that don't have a dog in the fight. Who do you think they're going to root for? You're right. Who do you think they're going to root for? They're going to root for Taylor.
Exactly. People don't already watch football.
Casuals.
You got a lot of people, but you got your casuals that don't even care about football. They're like, I heard Taylor Swift boyfriend going to be in the Super Bowl. Like, you legit see things like that. They're talking about Taylor Swift.
Be ready for the commercials. Because the commercials are gonna be flowing. Kelsey's gonna be in some. Swift's gonna be in some. It's y'all. I can't be more sure of them making this. Like, I'll guarantee it. The Chiefs make it to that. I'll go ahead. I'll put a guarantee. We're just us talking here. The money that will be made off of this, you can't pass that up.
She literally had never. I mean, obviously, she was never a big football fan at all. The moment she got going to Chiefs game. Her jersey sales and she started getting a lot of jersey sales with her name on the back of it, and Travis Kelce went from number 20 something to the top 5. You don't think they want that money in the Super Bowl? Hey, just wait till you see those calls. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait to see those calls. Hey.
It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna be pissed, and it's gonna be Ravens fans. It ain't gonna be the Chiefs fans. Unless some shocker happens, it's gonna be the Chiefs. It's gonna be the Chiefs.
I think.
We'll be looking at a Chiefs, and then I have 49ers. You got Lions, Super Bowl. So
we'll be looking at a rematch from the Super Bowl 3 years ago, and then I'll be looking at the 2 years ago, I believe. But then I'll be looking at the rematch of the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Or either way, any game will be a rematch besides the Ravens and the Lions. The Ravens and the Lions in the.
I feel like that's the odds-on favorite to not happen. Like I feel like everybody's thinking that one won't happen at all. Like that would be the ultimate underdog type thing. I feel like.
Yeah, you hear the people. There was a man in Canada that was looking at the Super Bowl stuff, and he saw his TV. It said Ravens versus 49ers, and I think he's like, he followed the script, and this was way before the playoffs started.
I saw that. Where the colors or something like that.
The colors are
the colors of the logo for the Super Bowl for that year, correct? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yes. So this year it's what, purple and red?
The red. But but one thing you do see on the NFL, when the NFL posts the tournament bracket, they show the Chiefs side red and they show the NFC side blue. And I do know AFC is red, and I know NFC is blue, but they've never color coded it like that before. And I paid attention to that. So I don't know. It's a bunch of conspiracy stuff. You know how that goes.
It's always gonna be some. But yeah.
Any updates about any potential recruiting stuff UGA wise?
Oh well, yep. I saw it. You probably saw it. We missed on Caleb Downs.
I know.
Last second flip to Ohio State. Here's what I heard, and I'm sorry, y'all, for giving you a 99.9% chance of this happening. It was literally a last minute thing. I was upset, but I'm not like too majorly upset at it because it would have just been an embarrassment of riches. Like at the end of the day, it would have been an icing on top. Like, yeah, it would be nice to have Caleb Downs, but I don't think that's going to kill us at the end of the day. I think we're still going to be a great team. No. Now, if this was like a major defensive lineman we're talking about here, I'd be a lot more upset because to me, that's the weakness of this team is the defense.
That's our weak point. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everything I heard, he was going to get money from us. He was going to get an apartment or a house, one of the two, something like that. Our apartment, a house, something of that sort. And we were going to cover that. And then I think there may have been one other thing involved. But at the very last minute, Ohio State offered $1 million. And I think and I haven't had this one verified, but $1 million for this year alone. And the package just ended up being that much better to where even and this is from people that I know, I mean, they're pretty good. I feel like most of them, the hit rate on these things of being valid are pretty high. But Kirby and them were like, yeah, we're not – they gave them a chance to match it. And they were like, yeah, that's probably going to be the best offer you get. You may as well just take it. And that's how that one ended, man. That's how that one ended. And already was moving in and everything, dude. Already was the admissions process had started. They stopped it. When they got the admissions had already started, they stopped it right then and there. He was already moving in. There was people out there posting about my cousin helped him move in. People had seen him in Athens. People had been seeing this dude in Athens. Like, it was a done deal, bro. And then, but there's no such thing as a done deal anymore in recruiting. And that's why, you can't, you can never guarantee until that signature is on that piece of paper, until that dude is showing up in the system and he puts that jersey on and he plays, it is no longer a guarantee in college football. Some people choose to really get pissed off about that. Some people, to me, you just got to accept it. This is the age we live in. It's what we're dealing with. And either you adapt and survive or you don't, and you die. And that's where we're in now. So Kirby and them, they just wouldn't match it. I understand it. Your safety can't be the highest paid dude on the defensive side of the ball, I don't feel like. And you dang sure can't pay him more than Malachi Starks. What kind of precedent is that setting? So it sucks, but it is what it is. And, maybe we'll see some stuff. I think it's going to get pretty quiet here. Not much. Best thing I can offer for you here is we're in it for a class of 2024 safety out of Texas. His name is Terry Bussey. He's technically classified as an athlete. They went in home today to visit him. I think it was like Schumann and Kirby. I think maybe one other person went.
Ooh.
Yeah, they went in-house with him, and then he's going to be visiting this weekend. So we got a chance here. As long as we get him on campus and we can do this kind of stuff, there's always a chance. And we may be able to pull him. He's a great athlete. So that would be your that might be your coping piece there. If you get him and you didn't get downs, at least you got Bussy. So it'd be pretty nice. But that's about it. You're going to be pretty quiet here until after spring practice, spring scrimmage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when the next portal window opens, and that's when we'll hear some stuff. There's going to be some guys leaving Georgia. There's going to be some guys coming into Georgia. There's going to be movement, man. There's going to be movement. So, and there could be more coming up. There could be more. If Harbaugh takes a job in the NFL,
that's huge.
Those players get 30 days to get in the portal, just like with Alabama.
From what I've been reading, even though I thought it was no way, no how, but Belichick is looking very close to Atlanta.
There was something today that came out and said it's dying down.
Really?
I saw it earlier this morning. They said that stuff's dying down. But he did have 2 interviews, so that means something.
He did. So, and also, quick thoughts before we go. I'll give mine real quick. The Bill O'Brien hire to Ohio State. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's a bad hire. It's a solid hire. I know a lot of people don't like it. But with the weapons they got and Ryan Day, this is Ryan Day's last chance. I think he had to go and get somebody.
I don't like it.
Chance. I mean, look, he lost to Michigan 3 years in a row. And now, granted, it's been successful.
Ask any Bama fan, they'll tell you that it's trash.
I mean, yeah,
you expect it. I just don't.
Everything trash, dude. If you ain't winning today,
you had Bryce Young, and all that embarrassment of riches, with Bama, and
and it wasn't necessary. They always have.
I don't know. I didn't really care for him, and I think you're going to see a similar thing.
Bryce Young and that offense not scoring points. Were they not a really good offensive team?
Underachieving, man. If you can't get it done, that was like at that level of that stacked of a roster. We'll see here, man. We'll see. They got a stacked roster as well. They got. I don't know. I don't really know who the quarterback's going to be. It's going to be Will Howard, right? Yeah, Will Howard transferred from Kansas State, so we'll see. He's pretty good. They got good wide receivers. We'll see.
Over here saying underachieving, and they lose to Georgia because 2 of their wide receivers went down in the game.
We talked about this in the group chat this week, man.
I know, but that's not underachieving. Oh, so that's underachieving because two of my best player offensively is down?
Wasn't he there? Not last year, but the year before too?
They won in 2020.
It was the year before. I'm talking about the year before. That was the year that TCU made it and they didn't, where they ended up playing Kansas State in the bowl game.
They lost to Tennessee 52-49. They lost to LSU 37-34. Is that whose fault is that? That's not my offense.
Yeah, it does sound like a little bit of a defensive problem. You're right. You're right. I don't know. Ask them. I'm just not huge on the guy. I haven't been huge on him in a while. I didn't really like him at Penn State. If I'm just being
Brady didn't like him. Him and Brady used to get into it a lot. There was a lot of stories about him.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him. But hey, like I said, we'll see how it goes. Either way, it don't bother me. Because this ain't my team, I don't really give a crap. We'll see how it goes. I mean, unless we face him and he actually does something, then I'll care. But
the possibility they in one of the hardest conferences now this year, and they got a lot of tough teams over there. So
I mean, they'll be good though. They're a good team. They got a good team, and then also to add on to this, we will get into more NBA as it goes. This is trade season. This is stuff like that's going on.
Huge, man. What the heck with the Bucks letting go of their coach?
Bucks let go of the coach. We're not going to go crazy in that now. We can probably touch on that a little bit maybe next week. But the Bucks let go of the coach. Terry Rozier being traded from Charlotte to Miami for Kyle Lowry in a first rounder. That's something to keep an eye on.
That is.
So we'll be hitting more NBA moving forward. Next week we'll know who's going to Super Bowl.
Points,
NBA, we got trade deadline.
That's right.
All that stuff. So
then here's the thing about Trae Young to LA.
They were saying some stuff about that before the season too. I doubt it happens though.
Oh man.
I doubt it happens. We'll see. Yeah, LA, I don't know. We'll see. Unless they pull some crazy crap. They have to get rid of Austin Reeves, Hachimura, multiple firsts, things like that. Just crazy assets. So but all right. We good?
Yep.
Everything touched on? All right.
Sure.
Well, thank you guys for listening in. Thank you for all that tuned in today. If you're listening to this on podcast, just remember you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are located. If you want to support the show, click in the comment section or the description of this podcast. Better yet, click on the Linktree link and you can support us in a multitude of ways. Make sure to give us some follows on the social media platforms, and any support you guys can give, we appreciate. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Boom, boom.